As the British public mourn the death of Her Majesty the Queen, the Americans and the CNN are spreading more propaganda outside Buckingham Palace by demanding reparations. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So we now know that we have all the mainstream media outlets outside Buckingham Palace every single minute today and over the next few days because of Her Majesty's death. Now, the issue here is that I've been watching some of these pundits, all these other channels, talking about stories and memories of Her Majesty. Then you have CNN and Christian and Amanpour, who is a British Iranian who got a job at CNN a while ago, a few years ago, and she's one of the biggest presenters and anchors in the world, respected. Yet, they decided to have this discussion outside Buckingham Palace regarding the British public and the monarchy and Parliament, essentially apologising for everything and giving money to all the colonies.
In France, in other parts of these nations that had colonial servants, let's face it, people were in service to this empire. The wealth of this empire was derived on the back of the people of their empire.
On display in the palace.
Right, on display everywhere, and in the crown and everywhere. So what we're saying is that there is the generation of multicultural and diverse Britons who want this answered.
All right, before I actually give my proper reaction, this next bit, she's talking about reparations.
Who want to see their monarch finally talk about what it means and what, potentially the idea of reparations, definitely justice, right? Justice. And I think Prince Harry, and you know this better than me, sorry.
All right, stop talking. Justice. Really? Justice. Let's talk about justice. Let's talk about how it was the British Empire who essentially sacrificed everything, including the economy of the country, to abolish slavery. Let's talk about how the fact that we're talking about a time when nations were either empires or wanted to be empires. Let's talk about why we're not demanding, for example, Spain, demanding that the Muslim empire give them money. Why are we not demanding from the Vikings, the Danish and the Swedes to give us more money? Why are we not demanding for all the other countries that decided to invade us and all the other countries that were invaded by the others? Why is it that the one nation and the one former empire that not only has already apologized, not only has already made U-turns and sorted out the mistakes, not only it clearly kept the families of former colonies close by calling it the Commonwealth, comparing it to, for example, the French Empire and the French colonies, who still hate them, by the way. They compare that to the others when they had some sort of empire. Suddenly, every single time something comes up about this country, the likes of the CNN and all the other lefties will bring up reparations, will bring up apologies. How many apologies do you want? How many times do we have to say sorry? How many times do you have to give money? How many times do we have to give out free visas and passports to people in the Commonwealth to come here at the time that we did? I don't understand this obsession that especially the Americans now have when it comes to the British history. If we went for Britain and the British culture, you would not exist right now. But here we are where we are now, and we're going to come back and we're going to tell you an issue that happened yesterday in Scotland during one of the ceremonies as a pro-Republican protester was detained. Even though we clearly say we have free speech, but in Scotland, we don't really have free speech. Subscribe to the channel on MyTCN. We are the media.